Okay. And let me pull up the chat box too so I can see if anyone has any questions or anything. And there's a lot of stuff in this. So if there's something that you want me to stop and share, just let me know, okay? So, yeah, my name is Naina Kaputi. I'm a LinkedIn consultant and trainer and founder and CEO of the Expat Woman. At the end, I'll also share a little bit about the Expat Woman. I've shared my LinkedIn link in the chat, and I know some of you already connected with me even before this workshop. So great job with doing that. You were very proactive. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through the 5 pillars to leverage LinkedIn to showcase your expertise and stand out from the crowd. Okay. So let's turn off all distractions so we can focus on this. So this is a question. Have any of you ever Googled your name? Let me know in the comments. Or yeah, you have Doa? Yes. Okay. What shows up? Or Ateka, Doa, anyone else? What have you seen? What shows up when you Google your name?
LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, and a few articles from Bastago.
Fantastic. Yeah. So LinkedIn's one of the first profiles that shows up. Yeah. Right. Your LinkedIn profile. And so when someone's meeting you or, they're connecting with you, they most likely will like Google your name. So you can see when I enter my name, my LinkedIn profile shows up before my website or Instagram or anything. Right. And because LinkedIn is indexed by Google. Okay, it's the top Google indexed social media. Like you see, I think you mentioned Doha shows up along with Facebook, but your LinkedIn will usually show up at the top. And the thing with LinkedIn compared to any other social media platform is the LinkedIn profile allows you to share so much information. If you do look at your Facebook or if you're on Instagram or anything else, you can only share very limited information about yourself. LinkedIn is giving you this whole opportunity. It's like your resume or like your website, but much more interesting, right? So people are looking to hire you or learn more about you, are likely going to check out your LinkedIn profile. Okay. So it's in the old days when LinkedIn first started, it was like people would just copy and paste their resume. Now it's not your resume, it's your digital reputation. Okay, so you don't just copy and paste what you did, but you want more than that. And I will share a little bit of how you can do that. So anyone want to share in the chat or unmute themselves? If you're using LinkedIn, what are you currently using LinkedIn for? And if you're not using LinkedIn yet, that's fine. That's why you're here today, and I want to congratulate for you. So if you're not using LinkedIn at all, just say, I'm not using LinkedIn in the chat or unmute yourself. Or if you're using LinkedIn, is there something you're using it specifically for? Though you have to unmute yourself. Okay, so Nadia says for content creation and job hunting. Excellent. And though I don't know if I was speaking, but or maybe you turned off the thing because I couldn't hear you. Okay, so that's great. So, and I know that all of you are in career transitions. So, most of you might be using LinkedIn for job search, and content creation is such an important part of it. And what is your current level of expertise, would you say, with this platform? Don't use it much, somewhat knowledgeable, expert. Do you want to share that in the comments? Are you just starting off? Are you a beginner? Are you somewhat knowledgeable? Are you an expert? Anyone want to share? You can share in the chat or you can unmute yourself. And Big Roa says beginner. And Nadia says she's an energy management expert. Yeah. So also, so if if you're just starting off, it's fine. This is exactly where you need to be. Okay. So you shouldn't treat LinkedIn like you're throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping something will stick. You've got to be very strategic with LinkedIn. Okay, so because everyone has busy lives. And especially if you're looking for a job, there's so much that you're doing. If you're in this program, you're working with the cohort, you're attending other workshops. So you want to ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish on this platform? What do I want to be known for? Who am I trying to influence or reach? That's very important to be. So, are you on the platform to build your network? Are you on the platform to find a job? Are you on the platform to showcase your expertise? Like Nadia said, she's an energy management expert, right? So she wants to be known as that because maybe Nadia, you want a job in that field. And then whom you trying to influence or reach? So that this case, let's use Nadia as example. So she, maybe if she's looking for a job with an energy management company or a company focused on energy, then that would be her target audience, recruiters and companies who are hiring. And I just realized I didn't plug in my microphone. Can you guys hear me? Is it clear? Okay, I'll just do it without the microphone now. Still have it on my head though. But yeah, so that's so the fascinating thing about LinkedIn, it's your 24/7 digital billboard. That means, you guys are in Egypt, I'm in the US, there are people all over the world who are using LinkedIn. So at any given time, someone is checking your profile. And some of you might be looking for remote jobs. You are based in Egypt or in another country, and you might be looking for a job that will hire you remotely. So maybe that person looking at your profile might be in another country, right? That's different from where you live, and maybe it's a different time zone, but they're checking out your profile. So when you talk about digital billboard, it is like your profile's always visible. Someone may check it out, especially if you start standing out on the platform and make yourself more visible. So these are the 5 pillars to build your brand, develop your credibility, and get hired. So you want to make sure your profile is complete. You want to start sharing content. You want to build connections. You want to have conversations, and you want to. If you're owning your own business, you want to have a company page. I won't talk about company pages if there's no one here who is in entrepreneurship. If anyone here is starting their business, has a business, let me know in the comments. If you're not, if I don't see anything in the comments, then I will skip the company page because that's really for people who want to start their own business. Anyone, an entrepreneur or wants to start their own business, let me know in the chat if you are. Okay, and Ola, yeah, not yeah, Ola. So Ola said, I'm using LinkedIn to find new job opportunities and to know more about the companies that post new jobs. That's fantastic, Ola. I love that because that is very strategic. Yeah. So Nadia plans to start her own work. So maybe I'll touch a little bit on it at the end, Nadia, if there's time. But so we maybe time. I think it'll be useful for all of you as well. We'll go over it very briefly. So let's start with the LinkedIn profile. Okay. So the first thing that people see when they go to your profile is they see your banner, your profile photo, and headline. Okay. So for instance, and when people go to my profile, this is a little bit old. I don't have this banner anymore. If you go to my profile, I have a different banner, which is also very powerful because you can change your LinkedIn banner. All this is free. You don't need to get LinkedIn Premium. With the free account, you can do a lot of amazing stuff. So this thing at the top, that's called your banner. Now, you don't need you don't need to hire someone to do your banner. You can, I don't know if you guys know the program called Canva. It's a free program. It's canva.com. So you just go to Canva and I can even put it in, I think it's canva.com. It's a it's very easy to use, and I know all of you are tech professionals, working in that field. So this might be pretty simple for you. You don't even need to be a graphic designer. So you go to Canva, and in the search you do LinkedIn banner, and it'll give you like examples of LinkedIn banners, and then you can edit it a little bit and create your own banner. Now, what can you put in your banner? You could just put like I think I forgot somebody said energy management, and forget, I'm really bad with names. So you could in the banner have like a symbol for energy management, and you can say energy management expert. If you have ever spoken at an event, or if you can take a photograph of you in front of the laptop, you can have that. Just, it can be very simple, and Canva gives you a lot of examples of banners. Okay, so you don't want to leave that blank, and you don't want to put a photograph either, unless you're in real estate. Usually if you just put a photo of the country, for instance, if you're living in Egypt and you put a photograph of the pyramids are beautiful, but unless you are a tour guide or you're, taking people, bringing people for relocation to Egypt, that will not make any sense. Your banner should, really represent what you're doing. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is your profile photograph. You want to have a photo that has you from the shoulders up, and that you're where you're looking at the camera. Okay, so, and you don't want to have anyone else, don't cut off anyone. Like sometimes I see photos where you can see that there's someone else standing next to them, or they have their baby or kid with them. LinkedIn's a little different. It's different from Facebook and Instagram. It's getting less stodgy and like serious, but it's still, the profiles that do well are the ones that have that have a profile photograph with just you in it. Okay, so that's very important to keep in mind. And then the next one is a headline. Okay, so this, you have 220 characters, so you can say, for instance, the energy management, you can say expert in energy management, and I help companies. Think about what you do, who you help, and how you help them, and that can be your headline. If you have something interesting as well, like, I used to walk 6 miles daily, I added that at the end. You want to personalize your LinkedIn headline, like say, okay, she's also does this on the side. Runs her business, LinkedIn coach, expat woman, but she also walks 6 miles. Okay, so that makes it more interesting. So I wanted to give you a tip. Before you edit and update your profile, you should save it as a PDF. Okay, how do you do that? So you go to your profile, okay, and when you go to the top of your profile, you see the more button on the right hand corner. You click on that, you'll see a drop down box, and you do save to PDF. Because unlike when you use Word document or Google Docs, where sometimes you can go back, undo, LinkedIn, there's no undo. Once you type something and save, you can't go back to your previous profile. And sometimes we edit, we make changes, and then sometimes down the line we're like, oh, maybe I should use this from my previous profile, and then you can't find it. Excuse me. So always save as a PDF. Anyone have any questions so far? Just feel free to unmute yourself or let me know in the chat. Okay. So the second one is make sure your profile is set to visible. Remember, I told you you can Google your profile, that LinkedIn is indexed by Google. So you want to make sure when people enter Doha Gandour, that Doha, and they're not on LinkedIn, they're using Google Doha, that they can see your photograph, they can see your headline, they can see your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so you need to change that visibility to, yeah. So how do you do that? So you go to your profile and you see public profile and URL. Okay. So then you'll see when you click on public profile and URL, it'll say edit visibility. So see here, so you make your profiles public visibility. Okay. Your name, your photograph. You can see here public. All LinkedIn members on or off LinkedIn can see your profile. Okay. And again, if you're looking for a job, you if you're not visible, the recruiters are going to move on to someone else. So you want to be visible on this platform. Okay. So the next section is the about section. So you have I just showed you the top part of the LinkedIn profile. When you scroll down, you come to the about section. So as I said, when LinkedIn first came out, people would just copy and paste their resume and put it on LinkedIn. But you want to make it a little bit more personalized. So you can use up to 2,500 characters right in the first person. So in my profile about section, I shouldn't say Naina Kaputi is a LinkedIn coach and founder of the Expat Woman. No, I would say, if you want to say it in the first person, like you're writing it, like you're having a conversation with someone. And then you don't want to write big chunks of text. When a recruiter is going to your about section, they want to scan it, So if you have a big chunk of text there, they're not going to be able to read it. So you want to have, like how I space it out here, you want to have white spaces between your various text. Okay. So think about, in your case, if you're looking for a job, or if you have, like I think Nadia said she's a freelancer. So think about who's your audience. If it's a company, a recruiter, clients, start your about session by talking about it. Remember, you're not writing it for yourself. You're writing it for the people who want to hire it. They're not going to say, you know, wow, they're not interested in really you. They're interested in, if I hire this person, how is she going to help me? That's what they're interested in. You know, and I'm going to take off the head. They're going to say, how is this person going to help me, right? So you want to position yourself as the expert, as their guide, explain how you're going to solve their problem. So you can, you can say, I'm an energy management, so and so, and I help you solve this. So it's not just about you. I have 3 degrees, I have this, that. They don't care for that. They're like, what can she do or he do that can solve the problem that my company is having if I hire her or my business is having, okay? And then you can share the transformation. I can help you do this, and this is won't happen overnight. Keep working on it, okay? And at the end, you can do a call to action. So the bottom of your about section, you can say, if you're interested in learning more about me or hiring me, maybe you include an email, or you can include a phone number, or you can anything. That's called a call to action if you're comfortable with it. I know some people are nervous, if I post my email address or phone number, I'm going to get all these crank calls. There's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, so people are not going to be like searching through every profile to find phone numbers. Really, the people who are attracted to your profile are the ones, and in your case, if you're targeting recruiters, that's who you want to keep in mind, okay? So be authentic, humanize it. It really has to be when the person is reading your about section, they feel like they're talking to you, like you're talking to them, right? You don't want to sound like a robot, especially in today's world with AI and bots and all that. Recruiters want to hire people who seem like they can relate to them, okay? And then at the end, you can add some fun facts or icebreakers. For instance, like I have this at the end of my profile. I like to watch masterpiece theater and true crime TV shows. I like life as an expat and travel, Ayurveda, and fun facts about me. I have 4 cats. I walk 5 miles. I make jewelry. Blah blah blah. So you can see. So sometimes that's a good conversation start, and then people are like, wow, she's got these interesting hobbies. It can be anything. I enjoy cooking. Whatever, or I just anything that you do. I'm sure all of you have some interests, some hobbies. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It can be very simple. Okay. And then in your about section, you can add up to 5 skills. Okay, there's 2 sections where you can add skills. One is in your about section, and one is in your when you go further down, which I will cover. So, for instance, you can see I have experienced speaker, LinkedIn training, coaching, corporate events, expat. So, choose the skills that you think really showcase you as an expert. Don't use skills like I can use Microsoft Word, or good communication. It has to be the most specific you can be, the better. Okay, any questions so far? Anyone have any questions? All good. Okay, next section is your experience section. So when you scroll down on your profile, you come to your experience section. Okay, so you want to use keywords, and that's something very important to keep in mind, not just for your experience section, but also your about section and your introductory. Remember, I showed you the headline. What keywords are recruiters using to find you, right? Like if you have a specific skill, make sure you use that in your headline, in your about section, in your experience, because recruiters also search for profiles, or if you have your own business, the clients will search for profiles using keywords. For instance, energy management, right? So the lady, I'm very sorry if I don't have time to scroll up, but the lady who wrote energy management, if you have that in your headline, in your about section, in your experience, in your skills, recruiters might you might pop up when they're searching for you. Okay, action words could be something that shows if you've been in sales, achieved so much in sales for this year. If you're not working right now, put past action words in your about section, in your experience, anything that you've achieved success with. Okay, and you can also add media in your experience section, which is photos or videos. So in your experience section, if you're not working right now, that's fine. You still put the last company you worked for, and you say what the organization or company did, what you did there, and then if you had any accomplishments and achievements, share that as well. Okay, so remember, the about section is how you can help whoever wants to hire you. The experience section is about you. Now this is where you talk about yourself. Okay, the organization you work for and the skills, accomplishments, and achievements. So every company listed in your experience section should be accompanied by logo. Now I know sometimes some smaller companies may not have a logo, but if you when you enter the company name, it will pull up all the companies on the left hand side, and then you can look for the logo and then make sure it's there. Now maybe you're in between jobs, but you're doing something. You could even once, and I'm sorry I forgot the name of your organization, Ateka and Alia, but once Ali and Ateka, I'll create a LinkedIn company page for this organization that you all are going through, Wasla Connect. Yeah, you could put that as well. Let's see what Ateka said. You can, yes, Ateka, you can put an open to work label. Absolutely. Very good question. So, when you put your profile photograph up, it has a frame but says open to work. You can put that up because sometimes recruiters look based on that. It does not look desperate. It just makes it easier for recruiters to know, whether someone's looking for work or not. So yeah, you can put in that you're going through the Vasa Connect program. I encourage Ateka and Alia to create the company page, because then you could put that in your experience section, currently, mentee, whatever the words are. Maybe Alia and Ateka can help you come up with something. You can talk about what the program does, because it shows, if you're in between jobs, it still shows recruiters that they're going through a program right now to hone their professional skills, to help them with the transition, maybe because you've moved to another country, whatever it is. Okay. All right. Skills. So below the experience section is your skills section. You can add and remove skills. You can add up to 100 skills. Now, I would say think about always keep the company in mind. Always keep the job that you want to be hired for in mind. Always keep your areas of expertise in mind. So don't put random, very vague, general skills. So many people will be like communication skills or, stuff like that. You want to put skills in that will really showcase what you want to be known for. Okay, so put those in, and they should be relevant. If it's something that you used to do and is no longer relevant to the kind of job you want, don't put it in. Make it easy for the recruiters. You don't have to use all 100 skills. Okay, so make sure the skills you have in your LinkedIn profile are relevant to the work you do. Incorporate industry specific keywords relevant to your role. This helps your profile appear on searches conducted by recruiters or professionals looking for individuals with specific skills. Change the order of the skills to put the most important skills on the top. So you can move them up and down. Add those appropriate skills to the about section, relevant experience sections of your LinkedIn profile where you use those skills. So when you're writing the about and experience section, because remember I told you LinkedIn keywords are searchable. So the skills that you're using in the skills section, include them in your about section and experience section in a sentence that is relevant. And remove any skills that are no longer relevant to the work you do or want to do. Okay, like for instance, I made a documentary film some years ago, but now I'm not planning to make any documentary films anymore. So I would remove things like documentary film, because I don't even want to sidetrack people who want to hire me to speak about LinkedIn for their companies, or to do coaching with them, or to work with the expat women, right? I only want those relevant skills. And as you can see, I have two businesses. I'm a LinkedIn coach and trainer, and I also run the Expat Woman, which I'll share a bit more. So you can, but the thing is, you have to be able to balance both of them. Ideally, in your cases, I've been on LinkedIn for a lot since 2007, so I've created these two funnels for me. But if you can focus on one, the main role you want, like the lady said, energy management expert, it just makes it easier for recruiters to, if you have like 10 different jobs that you're looking for, it makes it more confusing. So the riches and the niches, so the more specific you are, the easier it is. Okay. Yeah, and as I said, make sure you speak to the relevant skills in your headline, about section, and experience section. So now once you've added a skill to your profile, your skills can be validated by first degree connections to reinforce their weighting. So you added like energy management expert or energy management, then you can ask anyone who worked with you, or even in this current program, maybe your mentor sees that you had all this experience, maybe they can endorse your skills. So they're called skills endorsements. Now these are different from recommendation, but people can go to your skills section and they can endorse you for a skill. Okay, which means like, I believe in this person's skill, I agree this person is good in these skills. For instance, I would request all of you who connect with me on LinkedIn to go to my skills and endorse my LinkedIn coaching and training speaking skills, right? So it's very easy, it's very simple to do. Okay. Okay, and so now the final one is the recommendation, and these are, I'm sharing the key components of your LinkedIn profile. Okay, the important ones. There are other things too, but right now I just want you to focus on these areas of LinkedIn. Okay. So you can request recommendations from your first degree connections. I know some of you have moved, to a new country. So from your country of origin, if there's someone, even if they have moved, but they worked with you or they hired you, you can still, and the company no longer exists, you're no longer working at the company, it doesn't matter. They can still write a recommendation for you. Your mentor, if once you prove that you're really good at what you do, the mentor's impressed, the mentor could write a recommendation for you. People inside the Vasla Connect program could write recommendations when they're like, wow, she's really a good student, she's really doing the work, she's supporting other people. You can ask your colleagues inside this Vasla Connect to write recommendations. You want to make sure when you ask for recommendations or when you write a recommendation, it's someone that's worked with you, and it's important to tell them what you want in the recommendation. Because if they just write a recommendation that's not relevant to what you want to be known for, what you want to be hired for, recruiters read it and it's like, this doesn't make sense because I want to hire her for any energy management, but they are talking about her, maybe I don't know, maybe earlier she worked in retail, which is not related to energy management, right? So you want to make sure that your recommendation kind of address what you're currently doing, what you want to work at, or make sure when they write it, it kind of translates. Maybe you're no longer were interested in that field, but it still shows you as a very hardworking, dedicated, thinking outside the box. Just think of creative ways to write your recommendation. Okay. And you can also don't just give recommendations, you also want to write recommendations for other people. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so you can see here, recommendations I've received about my LinkedIn coaching and trainer, uh you know so, and then I've also given recommendations. Okay, so the next pillar is content. So we finished with the profile. We're going to go into the content now, because it's not just important to have the profile, it's also important to write content. And before the pandemic, my content was all just promoting the expat women events. I really got into creating content during the pandemic, when I was at home and I was forced to like think of ways to build my visibility. And I never thought I was a writer. But one thing I want to give all of you, a tip I want to share with all of you, is just be authentic. Just put yourself out there. For instance, this workshop today, you could create a LinkedIn post, and I'm going to create one, and I'm going to tag whoever has shared their LinkedIn profile. You could repost that post and share some key takeaways you got from the LinkedIn workshop or the program Vasla Connect. Maybe there's something that you learned inside the program. You could write about it. If you can add a photograph, fine. If you just use text, it's fine. But you want to start putting yourself out there on LinkedIn, because then LinkedIn is going to show you to more people. LinkedIn rewards people who are active. There's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, but only 1 to 3% are active. So it's you if you start being active on LinkedIn, you're going to stand out and be more visible on the platform, because there's so few people active. Okay, so have a content strategy. Decide like, what am I going to post? Okay, on LinkedIn. And I know initially it might seem like a lot. So again, post content that showcases your expertise. For instance, energy management. So think of like 3 tips to manage energy. Again, I don't know much about it, so I'm just sharing things off the top of my head. Things to manage energy, maybe share something about your experience in that company. Always think about your target audience and goals in mind, okay? And maybe have a theme for each month. Post 1 to 5 times a week. You don't have five is a lot. Even if you post once a week, that's fine, okay? Just think and you can look at other people. So create different types of content. So you don't just have to be text content. It could be polls. You could do a poll like about something specific that you want to know more about. Like you could even do a poll saying how many times you post on LinkedIn once a week. You can say something like, I'm starting my journey on LinkedIn. I'm going to try and create more content. And I'm curious. I wanted to ask my network, how often do you post content? Yeah. Alia so has a question. Do you think once you made the connection LinkedIn, you tried to take the relationship out of LinkedIn and into your personal email? LinkedIn isn't great for developing the. I would say don't do it right off the bat, Alia, because people nurture the relationship for a while. Like right off the bat, if you connect with someone on LinkedIn and then say, "Can we have a coffee chat?" or a virtual coffee chat. Like I get this all the time. I connect with someone like, oh, do you want to get on a 20-minute call? Do you want to meet? It's a little hard. So I would say first nurture the relationship. You've connected with someone. Once they accept your connection request, send them a thank you email. And I'll share a little bit more about that in the next one. And then at the end, when we have the Q&A, Alia, you can unmute yourself and we can brainstorm a little bit more. But it's a great question, okay? Uh, polls, videos, images, repost, documents are. I mean, all of you live in Egypt. I think many of you do live in Egypt. At least the ones I spoke to. You could even do a post about, something about Egypt, living there. So you. It doesn't all have to be professional. You can tie it in with what you do, but you can say today I'm taking a break from my job search, and I decided to visit the markets in Egypt. And if you're living in, I've only visited Cairo, but it's such a fascinating city. There's so much, like it's so visual, like just taking a photograph. Like, of course, the pyramids are fantastic. I mean, putting a photograph of the pyramids will get you like, a huge response, I'm sure. But but again, thinking of tying it in. So that's why I said, like, I'm taking a break from my job search. Sometimes it's important not to get burnt out, right? We need to, and this is what you can say. We need to enjoy the country we're living in. Sharing something about Egyptian culture, whichever country you live in, comparing it with the culture from your country. There's so many ways you want to get recognized, and whichever country you live in. For instance, I live in the US, but I'm originally from India. That is part of me, right? Like those, you bring your country, you bring your culture with you, and you also the new country you move to. So because again, people hire people want to know more about you. Naina, what about the strategy of reaching out directly to HR manager, higher levels of? Yeah, so Khadija, again, you can do that, but this is what I've heard from recruiters, and Alia knows I do a lot of workshops and panels with recruiters. They get so many people reaching out to them saying, can you hire me, do you have a job? They get frustrated. So if you're going to reach out to a recruiter or HR manager, you first connect with them, look at their profile, and when you connect with them, look at their profile, find something interesting in their profile that stands out, right? And then say, I just checked your profile. Or if they don't have much in their profile, go to their company page, see what the company page is posting. Maybe they had a new merger, maybe they had a big retreat or conference, and say, I just checked out your company page and looks like you guys had this amazing event or these new hires. So you want them, you don't want it to be like, can I get a job at your company? You want to first send that message showing them that you've done your homework about the company. Comment on the company post. Comment if the recruiter has post, comment on them, let them start noticing you, right? Then look at the jobs on that company page, see which jobs really appeal to you. And then maybe in the next message, once they've accepted your connection request, you can say, thank you for accepting my connection request. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your company. Then maybe in your next post, you can do your homework and say, like, I am interested in working for companies. Share why you're interested and which jobs you're interested in. And then you can say, then you can ask them any question, but never just write directly saying, I'm connecting because I want to work for your company. Most recruiters told me they get very put off with that, and you want to stand out from the other people. Okay. So, yeah. So, and what I love, and Khadija, I'm glad you brought this up. What I love about LinkedIn is there are no gatekeepers, right? High level staff, HR managers, there's no secretary or personal assistant you need to go to. You can connect with them on LinkedIn, build what I just shared, follow my tips, and then you can, then write to them about finding a job at their company. Okay, so when you're creating content, and that's why creating content is so important, because they will go to your profile, right? When they're going to see, is her profile complete? Then they're going to read, if you have content, they're going to look at the content. Is she just like not active at all on LinkedIn, or is she posting content about her expertise, about what she does, about where she lives, right? You again want to stand out from the crowd by doing all this stuff. Okay, so again, you want to add value, you want to be authentic. If you're using, I don't know if any of you guys use Chat GPT. If you use Chat GPT to create your content, please tweak it and change the language to make it sound like you. I can tell on LinkedIn who has used Chat GPT, either in a post or in their comments. It just sounds so robotic. You can ask Chat GPT for ideas. You can use those ideas. You can even ask them to write a short post for you, and then you edit it, or you can write the post, share it in ChatGPT, and ask them to finish it. But do not just ask ChatGPT copy. But even recruiters told me they hate when people also send them messages on LinkedIn and they know that they got ChatGPT to write the message. They just say, we just ignore it. Okay, so be clever and creative. Okay, so yeah, so take a screen. So as I shared earlier, create content today. Take a screenshot of any of these slides. To share a takeaway on anything you learned today. Not only remember, LinkedIn's also about adding value, sharing value. Talk about why you're interested in improving LinkedIn or using LinkedIn, and maybe share a tip so other people in your network will also learn the tip that you shared, right? You want to show up on LinkedIn as someone who's also giving, who's adding value, not just always promoting yourself. Okay. Connections. So this is the next pillar. It's 24/7. There are no gatekeepers, and as Khadija said, you can follow and connect with senior leaders. Okay. Make relevant connections. You want to build your network. You want to be strategic. So go to the companies that you want to work for. Look at who works at those companies. Look what the jobs they are working at the company, and start connecting with those people. Okay, so because you want to build relationships, you want to comment on their posts. So yeah, and include a personalized note when necessary. Use the other ways to find people you want to connect with. So as I said before, go to company pages on LinkedIn, see who's works at the company, and connect with them. Maybe the school you went to, the college. Look at a lot of colleges and schools might have LinkedIn pages. Maybe not even a college you went to. Maybe you want to connect with people who went to Stanford, or maybe the University of Cairo. No, Alia asked, should you accept any random connection request? Do not accept random connect. I mean, accept them if they said we attended an event, or when you spoken. Like for instance, all the ladies. I don't know any gents, but I know the ladies who um, uh, are in Vasla Connect. Some of them invited me to connect on LinkedIn, and I know they're interested in LinkedIn, so I accept their connection request. What I do is I look at people's profiles too, right? So my target audience is mostly women living abroad, and so that, and women interested in building their visibility, in you know moving out of their comfort zone, and sharing their voice, getting the opportunities they want. So Alia, I would say the same with you. Think about who your target audience is, look at their profiles, and then decide, is this someone that I want to connect with, right? And then accept it. So I also get just random connections sometimes from people who are not my target audience, who I don't see the point in having my network. It's not rude, because they won't get any message saying that I declined it. They just won't be added to my network. Because also, but when you create content on LinkedIn only shows it to about 20% of your network. So if you're going to bring people into your network that are not your target audience, they might be the 20% that LinkedIn shares your content with, and then they're not going to benefit from your content, right? So, and then the people who really can benefit from it, for instance, the job seekers here, the recruiters may not even see it. So don't focus on the wrong people. Okay, you can use hashtags, you can use keywords. So focus on the quality, not quantity. I would say focus on getting to 500 connections and followers. I shared some ways of how you can find people. And I think in Vasala Connect itself, there's maybe 70 people or so. But try to get to 500 connections. And then, but again, take your time. Don't rush it and say, oh, I have to connect with 500. Just give yourself a few goals. Even when you have a job, constantly be proactive on LinkedIn. You never know when you might want to move to another job. Never be complacent. It's a great platform and they're adding so many new features. And I don't work for LinkedIn. They don't pay me to say that. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes, and Alia, maybe you notice this. Sometimes you might accept a connection request and the next thing they're trying to sell you something. There are a lot of bots and fake profiles too. That's why I go to the profile. Sometimes I go to someone's profile. There's no photograph, there's no nothing, there's no like about section, the company, is some fake company. I don't want to, because they also then they get access to all your connections, so you also want to be careful like who you connect with. Okay, so the next pillar is conversation. So we spoke about the profile, we spoke about creating content, we spoke about connecting. Now we want to have conversations because LinkedIn was created really for people to network. It's the world's largest business professional networking event. As I said, it's 24/7 networking. At any time, you can go on LinkedIn, find someone, comment on their post, send them a message, right? You can be active on LinkedIn at any time. So leverage LinkedIn messages. So I think Khadija had asked me about sending messages to HR folks. So, and I shared some strategies to do that. Okay. So you can send a message when you want to connect with someone. For instance, some of you might be attending this workshop right now or watching the replay, and you're not connected with me on LinkedIn. For me, it would be really helpful if you send me a message when you connected saying, I attended your workshop or I watched the replay and I would like to connect with you on LinkedIn. Because Alia was saying sometimes we don't know who's sending us the connection request, right? Especially if you're the speaker, you don't know who all these people are. So telling them that I attended an event with you or I heard you speak or we were in the same cohort or, is helpful. Okay. Then once they connect with you, you want to send them a thank you, like welcome, to my network. Thank you for connecting with me. I look forward to reading your content in my feed, learning more about your work. Celebration messages. You will get notifications sometimes when it's someone's birthday, or sometimes people will post that I finished 1 year at this company, or I just got hired, or I just got a promotion. Congratulate them. Send them a message, but make it personal, make it authentic. Nurturing relationship messages. I shared earlier how you can nurture relationships. I told Khadija how to nurture relationships with an HR manager. And then Alia, this is once you've nurtured the relationship, you asked me about taking it off LinkedIn, then you take it off LinkedIn. Like Alia and I have a fantastic, like I know how many years we've known each other, Alia, but I don't even know if we met on LinkedIn first. I'm not sure. No, we didn't meet on LinkedIn. But a lot of the time I keep in touch with Alia because of LinkedIn. Like Alia is, she posted some time ago about an organization here in San Francisco that she volunteers at, that she speaks at, called Europe. And because of that LinkedIn post, I then volunteered to speak at there to host a workshop for them. And then I posted it. And now I think 3 women from my network have, in the last 2 months or 1 month, have already volunteered to speak. So, LinkedIn is pretty powerful in how it works. So you can take people off the platform, but it's like an information, platform. So definitely take people off the platform, or if you meet someone off the platform, still add them to your LinkedIn network. And one more reason why I like LinkedIn, because you go to an event or someone shares an email with you. If they share a work email with you or a phone number, they move to another country, like in your case, all of you moved to another country, right? So your phone numbers will change, your business card, if you had one, will change, but you are still on LinkedIn. I can be in touch with people that I went to school with in India on LinkedIn. The only way I can keep in touch with them is through LinkedIn and know what they're doing, or people I work with. in India or when I first came to the US, right? Facebook, Instagram, very often people are fake. They don't put their full name on it. Yeah. Atika, what is the time? Is it already 10? Okay, we almost, yeah. Thanks, Atika. You're welcome. Yeah. So don't pitch slap. This is what I said earlier. When someone connects with you on LinkedIn, don't just send them like, oh, I want to work for you. The recruiters told me that is really annoying. Nurture the relationship, okay? Uh, Instead, introduce yourself, what you do, how you found their profile, something that resonates with you, or you find interesting their profile, or maybe they did a post about their company or of their expertise. Share something that makes you stand out, okay? And if the profile is not very robust, if they don't have much content, go to their company page and then share something from there. Stand out and be memorable in your messages. So some other ways you can be memorable is you can send voice messages and video message on LinkedIn. Very few, this is a big secret. Very few people know about this on LinkedIn. And this most recruiters really like this because again, you're standing out from the crowd. So you have to download the LinkedIn app on your phone, okay? And then you go to your phone and then in the messaging bar you can take a video and send it, okay? So you can do a short video or you can record it and then you can say, hi, thank you for accepting my connection request, I love the work you do, just something specific that might get you more attention. And don't worry about how you look, about your accent. They don't care about that. If they are interested in you, all that doesn't matter. Okay, engage in the comments. Okay, so as I said before, if the company posts, engage in the comments of the company post. Okay, engage in the comments of individuals, people working at that company. Just that means comment, and don't just say great post. Add something of value or ask a question. Okay, or copy a sentence that they did in the post and say that really resonates with me with that portion of the thing. If you say just great post, I like it, it just sounds, it doesn't really add any value to you, because you can also stand out by commenting on people's posts. Okay, and if you post, respond to all comments on your post, okay, and again, leave relevant comments on other posts, and LinkedIn will then show your profile to more people. So I know somebody here wants to start a business, so, and and this is also for the Vasala Connect people. Alia, I think if you guys can create a LinkedIn page, that'd be really helpful. It's very easy to create, and even job seekers, I know some of you are in between jobs. Maybe you're doing some project right now, you're working, or you're writing a blog, or you're doing something, you can still create a company page with your name on it to showcase some expertise you're doing. Okay, so it doesn't, you don't have to have a business. For instance, look, LinkedIn trainer, coach, and consultant. I created that, so I have my name because I have the expat woman, which is one business, and the LinkedIn trainer, coach, and consultant. I created a LinkedIn company page with my name. Okay, because since it's two different things. And why create? It demonstrates your thought leadership. If you have a business, nonprofit, you're just on your own, you're sharing your expertise, more discoverability on Google, you can build a community. So there's so much you can do with a page. Okay, so that was a lot. I was trying to finish it within 1 hour. But again, the 5 pillars are your profile, and this is recorded. So if you want to watch it again, I will share the link again with everyone. Okay, so you want to share your profile, you want to make sure your profile is updated, you want to start creating content, you want to start connecting with people. I would give you a goal of maybe 5 to 10 people a week, but again, not everybody, people who you want in your network. And then of course you want to engage maybe once a week. Say, I'm going to comment on some posts, maybe I'm going to comment on 5 posts or 1 post. Okay, and then finally, you want if you want to create a company page, you can do that as well. I know all of you live abroad, so and that's how I know Alia, through the expat woman, because we are a global platform. We have women all over the world, including women in Egypt, or women from Egypt who have moved here, and from I know many of you are from Palestine, so we also have women from Palestine who have moved to the U.S., and of course women from an amazing group of women, and have come abroad for, some came because they had to leave their country because of war or safety issues. Some have come because of their spouses, some have come because of work. I came to the US to study. People are always moving, so you will find this really great group of women. So you can join the Facebook group, the Expat Women Facebook group. I host a lot of in-person events in San Francisco, but I also host virtual events. I once a month I host a virtual networking event for women living all over the world. So if you go to the this page, you can take a photograph of this page if you want, or you can watch the recording. And if you've registered, I also have your email. Yeah, thanks, Alia. And then I also have a YouTube channel where I share some stuff about living abroad, culture shock. I interview other people who are moving abroad or who help women who have moved abroad, and that's my website. Yeah, and Alia, yeah, thanks. Alia has hired women from the Expat Women Network, which is really amazing. All right, so does anyone have any questions? I know we are at 10 o'clock, and some of you might have to have other stuff going on. I don't even know what the time is in Egypt right now. What is the time there?
8 p.m.
What time? What?
8 p.m.
Oh, not too bad. Okay. Not, yeah, the worst. Okay. Okay, cool. So does anyone have any questions, comments, anything that you want to work on? I know there's a lot of stuff, and maybe I'll stop the recording.